they couldn't get it to me. And so, welcome everyone. We'll call this meeting to order at 11:04. I know that there's a whole bunch of people running late. There's a lot of folks within the county. I'm going to turn this computer so that Emily's online thus far. I'm not sure who else will be joining us. Emily, can you kind of see stuff, or is that too much in the sun? That might be the best we get.
No, that's good.
Okay, so that's good. There's a big budgeting thing going on at the county, so we'll have a bunch of county folks coming late, and then a lot of other things going on with our partners. So, there will be in guest here, just going down in there. So I've already called to order. Let's just go around and say who we are, especially for the video. So you want to start, and then we'll go around.
Brad Walker, Park Manager, Utah Raptor.
Tim Shaw, citizen.
And hopefully
Potential at large member. Yeah.
Matthew Olding, the running rep.
Kathy Grossman, secretary, and I'm over here so I can see my screen.
He's in the shade, taking copious notes for us. Thank you, Kathy. Are those new glasses? They're cool. Yeah, they look good. They look good. It looks like somebody else is wanting to join, so I'm gonna let them in. Oh, Stephen Schultz. Hang on, let me admit. Oh, maybe we lost him. Shoot, darn. Oh, Stephen. Everyone say hi to Stephen.
Hi, Steven.
We've missed you. Okay, where are we at? Sam
Hodges, National Park Service.
What's your hot sauce of choice, Sam?
This is Valentina.
Valentina. That's good.
Get the job done.
It's a gem. Yeah.
Tim Rao at large member.
Hi, Tim. Thanks for being here.
Thanks, Mickey. Are we going in order?
No, you're great. You're doing great.
Rope activities rep.
Yeah, we can officially call it that. Rope activities. It's in the bylaws. We can call it that. So that's really good. Anna, say hi really quick because you're on video.
Hi, I'm Anna.
Well, what are you, Anna?
I am the executive director of Stewart Moab.
Whoa!
Flex it a little.
Yeah, he told me to. He didn't say anything.
That's so exciting. Colin, do you want to introduce yourself?
Colin Tupper, at large.
Dave, you're allowed. Introduce yourself as you walk up. No, but you're in line there. So
Okay, right on. Dave Wilson at large member.
Dave Wilson at large.
Matt Solly, search and rescue.
And it's like payday again for you, you know?
Oh yeah,
Payday. They just keep coming, show up at Trail Mix, and you get checks.
love it.
It's a sweet life.
We should have these meetings more often.
That's great.
Zane Taylor, member.
Zane, thanks for being here. We always like when you're here.
Eddie Logowitz, director of GCAT.
Tyson Swayze, Operations Supervisor for GCAT.
Samantha Derbyshire, vice chair, and I am going to send around almond brittle. How does only sit in the sun?
Samantha, this isn't a complaint. Brendan promised me that you were going to make cookies.
Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot to tell you that.
Really?
Yeah,
Well,
it'll happen
it's
still.
almond brittle season.
He said cookies.
Well, that was.
There's gluten in these.
I'm grateful for it.
Wow, almond brittle.
I'm just like, wow.
Stephen and Emily, I'm sorry you don't get to eat this in person. It looks really good. Such a sweetheart. Okay, there will potentially be a guest. So Monty Reisenhuber with the sweet e-bike is going to come chat with us about patrolling trails. But he is currently in court having to report on something. So he's going to come right after that. So we were hoping to have him earlier, but when he gets here, we'll do it. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, go for it, Kate.
So this is just a kind of a special little thing because we have an honoree.
Let's see if Stephen, can you hear us at all? Or is there someone on there that can hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you fine. Thanks.
Oh man. Okay. Well,
Okay.
this is perfect then.
So we wanted to have the ceremony and everything here at Trail Mix, but we are doing it a little bit differently, and we'll do it when Stephen gets back from Denver. But Stephen Schultz is the recipient of the Public Lands Foundation Stewardship Award, which is a national award. It's a pretty big deal. The Public Lands Foundation is a group. It's kind of like a friend group for the BLM. I don't think that's its or C status, but it's sort of a friends group for the BLM, and they award one landscape stewardship award per year. And we actually, Rob Sweeten and we thought that Stephen, we nominated Stephen, and he won. And I gave Samantha the whole spiel for the record, but I just want to say thank you, Stephen, for all you've done for BLM here in Moab, and you've always been ready to just jump in and just help out, and especially with the Old Spanish Trail, that's why Rob was involved. And to everybody, it reflects on everybody in Trail Mix, because of course Stephen and the Backcountry Horsemen are members of Trail Mix. So
Stephen, let's hear it for Stephen, everybody.
Yeah, thanks so much, Katie, and thank you to the group. Of course, I couldn't have got this without the cooperation of the BLM, the Backcountry Horsemen, and you guys. So for me, it's like a kind of a group award. I appreciate that I was singled out, but again, it's a team effort. So thanks for being part of the team.
By the way, classic Stephen thing to do, to push it on to other people, you know, but this is all about what you did, Stephen. So we appreciate you and miss you a lot, and are sending you good healing vibes every day. We think about you, especially every meeting. So
we have a nice, beautiful bronze plaque to award Stephen.
awesome. So when you
Public Lands Foundation.
Thanks, Katie.
Actually wanted to come over to Moab. They're based in Grand Junction. They wanted to come over to Moab and give it to them first. So we'll set that up, and maybe it'll be at a trail mix. So.
Well, congratulations, Stephen, and we sure miss you. And we want you to get this in person soon. So hurry it up and come get it in person, okay?
I can guarantee you I'm healing as fast as I can.
Yeah. Okay, good. Thank you, Katie, for that special presentation. Okay, minutes for last meeting. Send them out to everyone a few times. Sent out last week. Take a motion to approve last meeting's minutes in November.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from last month's meeting.
All right, so Dave made a motion. Can I get a second?
Second.
Thank you. Second. Any other discussion or any changes? Anything? Okay, everyone that's good with it? All the yays for the meeting minutes? Okay. Any no's? Okay. Last meeting minutes passed. November meeting minutes passed then. Awesome. We have
That's incredible.
what is?
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah, sorry,
I second that.
I'll show you the text. I did a favor for Brendan. He said I'll have Samantha make
Okay, but could there be any cookie this good? I don't think so.
Deserve it.
Man.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Any citizens to be heard? Any other public folks? I know it's a smaller meeting today. All right. We have a really fun action item. If you saw, and with the meeting minutes I sent out, and then also the info, we get the opportunity to vote for Tim Shaw as an at-large member. As you know, Brett has not been able to make the meetings, and essentially came to me and said, hey, you should find another person based off of things he's got going on. And so Tim has been a very active part for the last few years, I think, Tim, right, that you've been here?
Well, recently, yeah, years ago.
Yeah.
But I only came to 3 meetings.
He's been here all year. I think he's got maybe the best attendance of all of us.
Yeah, you're killing it. You're killing it, Tim. So way to go.
Who?
Up there with
Tim.
Tim, yeah.
Yeah, Tim. So
Better than me.
Tim, obviously, we're gonna vote for you. Potentially here. Do you want to just say just real quick? And hopefully you saw I did a few paragraphs of why Tim said he wanted to be part and be an at-large member, and a sweet picture of him. Tim, anything you want to say before we vote for you all, or any questions? I guess from you. So let's start with Tim. Anything you want to say to Trail Mix folks before we vote?
I don't know, other than what my bio said. I just want to be more involved.
That's awesome. You've been great.
There's a few votes I would have liked to have been on,
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. I really like that. Questions for Tim or any discussion? for Tim. Okay, well, I would like to make a motion to vote Tim Shaw as our last opening for at-large member. Can I get a second?
I'll second that.
Awesome, Kaya seconds. Any other discussion? Okay, everyone that's good with that, voting members, raise your hands, or yay, or whatever online. Okay, any opposed, or anyone not want to say? Tim, you're in, buddy. Let's give a round of applause for Tim.
I thought, man, there's no way. Thank you all. Thank you very much. Glad you're part of the team.
That's really
Now
exciting.
stands up
Now I have something to say to tell you, guys. Yeah.
So I can vote now?
You can. You're a voting member. Yep. That's congratulations. That's really exciting. Thanks for being part of Trail Mix. That's great. All right, we are moving into discussion items. Let's start with, and I know Anna is here at kind of, where did Anna go? At kind of a different role, but you did help a lot. I want to start with the November volunteer appreciation, that dinner success. At least I thought it was a success, and chat a little bit about that. Maddie, maybe you can, Maddie Tyson, maybe you can add a few things, but I thought it was a great success, a lot of fun. Great, it was well attended and really good food, and I thought it was a lot of fun. So, Anna, what do you have to say about the volunteer appreciation dinner, and then also we talk about potentially 2026, what that's going to look like. I did because of that.
I thought it was great. You know, as you know, we're trying to go and move on. So it was a quick turnaround. And I was honestly surprised that so many people came out. Considering I like sit out, checked it out pretty quickly. How did you feel? Can we do it there again? Where was it this year?
I love how we got to do it.
I think we've outgrown it.
Oh yeah, that's I think true, and I don't know where else.
It's right there. Dewey's is not very like dietary restriction friendly is my only complaint, but that's like I'm probably a minority who can't eat.
I think so one of the reasons we choose a restaurant is because we don't have to get a alcohol license. We don't have to organize the food. It brings the cost down to do that.
And that did get donated. Right?
And it got donated.
Yeah, that's huge.
But it would have been like it would have been more complicated to put on something here.
Yeah.
Versus to have just reserved this in that space. And I know it's still a little small for maybe what we are at this point, but it also makes it cozy.
That was great. And the space they donated to us, somebody donated a bunch of our meals.
Yeah.
I still didn't get to find out who that was, but I would love to chat with them and thank them. So hopefully you can do that for us.
Well,
I still want to know, even if it's anonymous. I still want to know. I don't care. I want to know who this anonymous person is. Okay, Maddie Tyson. Anything else?
Just a thank you to Anna for kind of stepping in. We had some unexpected events that week, kind of pulled out for staff, and also Joy, you know, as expected, she had taken another position, but Anna definitely jumped in and saved the day. So thank you.
And huge thanks to MMVA, who also speaking of jumped in to save the day, just used the budget to get us a bunch of gift cards that we could give away to people. That was a really big hit. So thank you to the MMVA as well. Everyone, what do you think about 2026 doing it at the end of the season? Everyone still feels good about it? You want to keep doing it? I know it's a process to organize, so that's why I'm really asking.
I mean, to be honest, as long as I can secure Dewey's and folks can secure funding, it's the hardest thing. But if you were to ask for the grant center, that would be hard. Just a lot more work. And I know that because we do host the Moab Bag Summit here as well.
Okay. Any other discussion?
I do think it's valid what Faith is saying though about like maybe specifically requesting a few menu items that need some.
they literally just need gluten-free bread.
Yeah,
That's it.
that's it, yeah.
They just need
They can do
one.
that.
Bring your own bread.
Yeah,
They'd
right?
be willing to accommodate that.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, we just.
Or I'll bring it. I can bring it for you.
BYOB.
Yeah, no, we want you there.
Yeah. BYOB, bring your own bread.
Yeah, bring your own bread.
Yeah, I was actually shocked because I was like, with how many tourists eat here?
Oh, yeah.
That's totally free bread.
We won't bring in anything other than Angry Orchard cider also. Like, Mike, come on.
Yeah.
So much shit over that.
I do like it, but it's like a sugar bomb.
It's so bad.
Yeah.
But I thought the space was good, and I thought you all did a really like stellar job of hosting it, and also I really appreciated how it was like quick.
Yeah.
Like it was like boom, boom,
Yeah.
boom.
That was
It
the number one
awesome.
feedback. Speed it up a little this year.
Yeah.
There was no 6-page AI things this year, so that helped out a little bit.
And you didn't run out of food before most.
Exactly,
Not
we didn't run out of
like
food.
a couple years ago.
So
Well, it's such an important, like, season wrap up. I mean, the value is just
Well, I think
astronomical.
it's nice because of when it occurs too. I think our chances of getting a local restaurant to host and donate things is much better in November than it is, any other time of the year. So it's almost like a nice little kind of boost locally too.
yeah, awesome. Okay, well, we'll plan it for 2026 then. We'll pause real quick. So, Kai, do you want to introduce yourself and Arthur?
Oh yeah,
That's
here,
right.
Kaya, hiking representative. Sorry I'm late.
And what would you say is like Arthur like sidekick?
He's,
What's,
I think my probably my hiking consultant.
oh, I like that. Consultant.
He's my subcontractor.
Hey, he counts for attendance. Okay, so
Yeah.
so he's in here. I
Voting.
like
He's
it.
been to 2 meetings now.
Love it.
Voting members soon. No, wait, we don't do
No
that anymore.
All right. Next discussion item: Falcon Climb trail book dates. One's happened today. Sounds like it. Pretty successful. You want to speak to that, Tyson, or who wants to speak?
Yeah. Crew's been on Falcon Climb for the month. They've already got one of the hardest sections that we need to build. Happened way faster than I expected. 2 days. We're doing volunteer days tomorrow. It's at 9:30. 9:30 to like 2:50, so kind of a shorter day, but
Meeting up at the Fox Park.
meeting at the overflow parking lot for Falcon Flow. There's a easy way to walk in from there. So tomorrow and then next Tuesday and Wednesday, as long as it's not snowing or extra cold or anything awful. After next week, our trail crew's done, so we'll probably take a break through the holidays and then into, I don't know, we'll see what Evan has capacity to do if he wants to do any solo volunteer days, but we probably won't start back up until February. But we'll see where we get in the next 2 weeks. We do have to have the project done by the end of February to open it. We can't build in March, so there will be a big push at some point in January or February to get people out. It's really easy building for the most part, so that's kind of the nice part. There's not a crazy amount of rock work on the rest of the trail. A lot of just break and ride kind of trail.
I wrote the EA, so I should know that it's one way up, right?
Yeah, one way uphill, and then Falcon Flow is now one way downhill.
20 miles on the up.
Huh?
20 miles on the up.
3.7, 3.75, somewhere in there. So yeah, all of it stays on the north side of the road. It like kisses the road right across from Juniper Campground. We did a lot of work to not cross. It was one of those awkward spots where it either had to cross sand flats twice or it was just going to be right along it. So it'll just act as a entry point for people camping there. It'll just be okay. So we gotta get it done by the end of February. But I think Eagle Eye was very similar in build difficulty, and we built in like 2.5 weeks with some big volunteer groups. So it was kind of crazy how fast that trail went. So
There was not. I would say we didn't do a ton of marketing for groups, but it sounded like you said there was a group of at least 7 in addition to. Yeah, that could. So I guess I would just say, and maybe we can just pass it along to Evan that if we want more, just let's get it out there more, email and socials or whatever. If you do want more people.
yeah, I mean, it's a great time. I mean, there's with 3 days left to volunteer. It's a great time. We always find winter locals really show up. Well, it's kind of like, what do I do? What do I do now? I have time. So, but yeah, I would say spread the word. Yeah.
On that note, I think I might have said this before, but we might want to take advantage of that and do 2 Trail Work Wednesdays in maybe February this year.
Yeah, we'll have weekly days probably again.
Okay.
That's kind of that'll be kind of an Evan question more than me, because it kind of depends on weather.
Yeah, totally.
It kind of just depends on weather and what we're doing. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Definitely.
Well, we're excited about that. I guess just keep updated. I know that I had somebody who reached out to me, just wanted to know a little bit more about it. I sent that social stuff, and they wanted to know like where and pictures, etc. So I'm sure once stuff gets done, we'll post things.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, just a reminder that we have, I guess we call it kind of appointments / voting. Each year we kind of re-vote in each position, and that's happening in January. So that's going to be our next meeting. So if you are done with where you're at, or if you're ready for a change, or you want to pick somebody else of the spot and take their spot, or whatever else, just let us know. Get with Samantha, myself, and Kathy, so we can communicate that. So please reach out, or if you know anybody who would like to. Right now, all seats are filled, which is great. Way to go, everybody! But if if someone's interested, or if you're kind of like, yeah, maybe I've done this long enough, just let us know.
I think definitely let us know if your seat's going to be vacant.
Yeah. Any vacant seats, let us know. Awesome. I sent a link for the Utah Open Meetings training discussion. I got a few more certifications sent to me via email. Thank you. I'm just going to keep pestering you all until I get it from everybody. It's really easy. It takes, I don't know, less than 10 minutes. And just so that, because any voting member especially should have that completed. Katie was hoping to be here to speak to the Grand County Trails Master Plan. Now that's the next item on discussions. We met, Colin and I, and Maddie was sickly but still online, and Katie presented it to Moab City, to their planning department. Is that what it was? Planning Commission, and it was fully approved the way that was, which is really great. Sounds like still need to figure out a way to communicate that to the city council, and then the city or the county and the county council, right?
Yeah, it goes in front of city council tonight.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Is there anything we can do about that? Send a note of.
You can email city council. That's a great way. Better ways to show up. And even if you don't make a comment, it's not like as Katie mentioned in her email, it's not an open.
It's not a public hearing.
Public hearing.
Public hearing was at the planning commission.
And so you can comment and just the citizens to be heard. But it also it shows so much to show up, to have just bodies there and support.
And also, I don't think it's in danger of getting approved
Within the city.
But I would say that optics are huge tonight for what's happening at the county. And if the county sees a lot of people there and a lot of people in support, and that here's a lot of good discussion about it, I think that can only
good point.
Awesome.
Can I
Maddie.
add to that a little bit?
Yes, please.
So yes, tonight, city council chambers, 6 p.m. is when the citizens to be heard is. Is that right, Colin?
And it's the first item on our general business, so it'll be pretty early
Okay.
at the meeting, so you won't have to be there very long.
Right. So yeah, if you want to give a comment, show up at 6, give a comment, and then leave. So it's going through the city side of the process. It's also simultaneously going through the county side, because the plan scope of work has like both the collaborative project. And so for the county, it will go to the County Planning Commission on Monday, December 15th, which is at 4:30 in the community chambers, and that will be the public hearing for it. And then the process is that the Planning Commission will decide. They'll make the decision to either recommend it to go on to the County Commission or to not recommend it. So
That's the 15th, you said?
that is December 15th, which is Monday at 4:30.
Will you, just as Yes, as we get closer. That's how my life works anyway. If I add things in my calendar as it gets closer, so thank you.
It's a week away. Pretty close.
I know, listen, you know what? I've heard from so many people, so I try, you probably have seen, I try to send a reminder for this meeting a week out. Then I try to send it a few days, and then I try to send it the morning of. And I think because we have too many competing things going on, so I need it. Even if it's a week away, I need it.
Can I add something to the county? So, those of you who have looked through the plan are pretty aware this is a pretty amazing plan. It touches all of our lives, both in town and just outside of town. Great, enhancement to safety and to recreational opportunities. As Kaya said, I think the city is probably no problem. The county is a whole nother story. And the biggest challenge is that if the county, especially the commission, has issues with certain parts of this plan, the contract is over with Alta and with Katie at the end of the year, or even now maybe. And so any need to go back into the plan and to make changes is going to be that much more difficult. And so if the plan doesn't make it through the county process sooner than later, the chances of it doing so are greatly.
What are the issues, just in 50,000 foot view that the county has?
The biggest issue that I'm hearing is they're not even lines, the sort of amorphous blobs through private property right now. And so that was also a big issue. Those lines with the 2011 existing plan. When we had the open house here, we saw a lot of private landowners come in just ready for a fight. And then after, we talked to them and explained things and how the process works, that there's no eminent domain for trails and right-of-ways in Utah, and that this has to be a process of working with landowners that can really benefit from this process. And then the lines that were shown, these just conceptual lines shown through property, really just connecting point A and point B, were changed in the plan to these, blobs that are showing a very distinct line so they could move within the blob. So a lot has been done to sort of alleviate these fears. But that's still a big one.
Are those blobs labeled with landowner permission, is there a disclaimer even on the legend?
There is. I was just going through the plan, and it is worded somehow that, and then there's a whole section in there about land acquisition. And the first part of the section is the state of Utah.
Willing sellers off.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Weren't a lot of those already carryovers from the last plan? Okay.
Yeah. So I think I don't think we put any new proposals on the private property.
So this isn't anything new to landowners.
Well, so there's a question about whether landowners were notified back in 2011. So I think a little bit of the challenge is that we've been approaching property owners to inform them that they are already in an existing plan that they maybe weren't aware of, and then trying to explain that we're doing an update of this existing plan. So, as you can imagine, if people didn't know about their property being on this and then they're finding out, it's maybe a different conversation than starting from. But yeah, so the primary changes are, so we did remove some lines that were impacting private property that, after how many years aren't as crucial anymore because of other changes. So there were some removals, and then there was the change from some feedback we got was that the original plan had these lines that were drawn, and there's confusion about whether they were concepts or whether people had actually gone out, trespassed, and drawn these lines in, and they were in fact concepts. So trying to make that more clear with the symbology. And then also in a few areas, changing it from sort of a proposed concept to a corridor study. So more of even one step further back of proposing a study to assess the feasibility of certain areas. So the update actually is probably addressing a lot of those considerations, but it still does involve planning.
Okay. Um,
Really quickly, you said a letter was sent out to the private property owners explaining all of this.
Yes.
Okay.
There was mailer sent out back in, I want to say this is summer.
Or this one.
Yeah, and it was notifying them that they were in the existing plan, starting that conversation with those.
Okay. Did it go over that these are study areas or however you want to word it?
So some are
Not-
corridor studies, and then some are proposals.
Okay.
That are sort of these concept bands.
My question, did the letter explain that?
The letter didn't specifically say like what that parcel.
It could be one or the other.
Yeah, it was more
Okay.
notifying them and giving them information about how to contact Katie with questions, sort of like that, and open.
okay, well, that's important. Meeting in a week to show up to, or just at least send a note to the city today, send a note to the county right now, whatever, week before they meet. Supporting that. And then I just want to add in, and it was mentioned at this planning meeting, just how great Katie did.
Yeah.
You know, I went to the first meeting and I was like, who is this? You know, she not only does she work really hard, she presents herself really well, and she really spoke to, and she worked really hard on it. So I was just so impressed with her. So yeah, let's not let this thing die. Okay, last few discussion items. So Mud Spring closure dates, as all of you know, as of the last day of November, Mud Spring's closed. I asked Tyson, and I don't know if you know anymore how that's been. The few times that I've been riding past there, I haven't seen anyone in the parking lot. Do we know how that's been? Are people keeping to the closures? You don't have any ideas?
Has the BLM monitored it at all, or?
I think Andy's been down there, yeah.
Out there a little bit?
Yeah.
We're not necessarily monitoring. I mean, Grand County basically is a contractor on Mud Spring
Yeah.
project, so we're not in charge of the management side as much. So Evan did go out and put up, assisted putting up like the cables to close it. He said there wasn't any drama doing that. Didn't have to run anyone out or anything. So yeah.
Did anybody get in and ride it the day after the?
That's what I was gonna ask, yeah.
Yeah.
I rode it.
Wow.
Yeah, I rode a family out there, and I was all like, fingers crossed for you, because it just rained.
Yeah.
It could be awesome, or you
Well, it
wanna turn back.
hard packed really well. Like it was full blue groove. Like you skid and you leave a black mark. So because of that, though, I think it also helps with the water shedding.
Yeah.
So down the road, it'll help. The other thing that was good to see was that the spots that are in the shade hold the moisture and were muddy, like not even like within rainfall time. So it's actually really good that it is closed all winter, because if not, those sections would just get destroyed. But yeah, it was amazing to see it after. I had been out in like a week and a half or maybe 2 weeks, and it went from soft to like shiny little concrete ribbon. So yeah, it's gonna really help for winter. Hopefully it reduces like deer impacts and all that on the tread. But even then, there was a comment about there was a horse that went in and checked out some of it. I guess left some pretty big prints, and that had been a few days before I went out there, and it was actually the prints were already getting kind of compacted down and mostly
The horse probably had a ride.
yeah.
I just imagining a horse.
Just scoping out some
I like this.
Horse and rider.
Now, is it
Both
open to
more
horses?
rider and horse.
Is it open to horses?
Say what?
Is it open to horses?
Everything's open to horses.
Except grant staff, it's closed in the army.
Yeah.
But.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Not
It's also
necessarily
open to hikers.
encouraged.
Yeah.
But they can.
Yeah.
Was it you, Steve?
Yeah, I'll make sure that the group knows that the Mud Springs is closed to equestrians during the winter months. Most people that ride that understand the clay nature of it and would not take a horse up there. It gets so slippery when it's wet. It's really more danger than it is enjoyment.
Totally. I just fun tidbit. Mud Springs inspired me to take my Chihuahua on a special rack. If you want to see what that looks like. Given the meeting, I have a great photo.
Oh, I would love that. Yes, please.
We send that out with a minute.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, this is perfect timing. Before discussion items are done, we've got Monty Hoover with the Moab PD. So I invited Monty. We've heard a lot about e-bikes, Surons, fast e-bikes on the trails that are putting a danger to the public and making it really hard to differentiate between the e-bikes. And so I've invited him here to chat about. So Monty, time is yours. And then we can also ask Monty all the questions we want. So thanks for being here. No, thanks for being here.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks for having me. So just what is allowed on the trails or what?
Why don't you come a little bit forward, sorry, because we're recording it here. Maybe you could just grab a seat in front of Tyson there.
Okay.
So the biggest questions that we've had thus far, and then y'all can help me out, is just that e-bikes. It's been a tough thing because they've seen quite a bit of trail, or quite a bit of crime, or just uncomfortable people being uncomfortable on our paved trails here with things that have been happening, and then also reports of other kids and other people riding essentially e-motorcycles on the trails, putting people to danger. So just want to chat about how you all are addressing all this.
So we have been, initially we were told to go and stop them all and tell them that they can't have them on the trails. The only thing, unless something's changed, to my knowledge, it's allowed on the actual trails in town are the class 1 e-bikes.
Correct.
That's it, nothing else. And doesn't mean they can't have the class 2 and 3s elsewhere on the roads and stuff, but they can't be on the paths. Those electric motorcycles, Surons, Solarias, and everything, they're motorcycles. They've got to be registered. They have to have insurance. You have to have a license. We tried to do a bunch of education, stopping people, telling them they can't have on the roads. And now we've pretty much been told, if you see these guys, you impound them, tell them that they can't have them on the roads. Because they have become a major safety issue. So I've stopped a lot of them to the point where one young kid told me I'm the only one that does it. So anyway, it's happening. I know Grant County's having a huge problem with it too. They told me the other day, they called us and said, "What are you guys doing?" They said they don't have registration insurance on their highway. They need to be impounded. Typically, we try not to do that with 11-year-old kids, and we call their parents. But that's just how it goes. They're electric motorcycles, just like you said. They're not bicycles. So,
how has enforcement been with that? Do you have people that try to run? Do you have because that's what you see a lot online.
I tried to catch one on the pedal bike, obviously, and he ran from me. I couldn't catch him, but we had one run from us again. A kid in the car. We were in our car. He ran from us. So there's been some citations and there's been some bikes taken away and impounded. It's a major issue.
Everywhere.
I
called one in the other day. He was coming towards the dog park at about 40, and he slowed down before he crossed the street. And I looked at him and said, "You know better." And he laughed at me and wheelied off. He had a license plate. So I rode it and called 911. He was wearing a Red Bull helmet, so he's super easy to identify.
Wow.
And so I just called him in, and they asked me, "Where I was, what the emergency was." I'm like, "I'm just reporting an e-moto on the bike path. Now he's doing a wheelie over the bridge through Rock Bike Park." So that's all I can do.
Yeah.
Anyone can do. Yeah. And they're just laughing at everyone, including you guys.
Yeah. No, I know. I'm well aware of this kid. Like I said, third, fourth time I talked to him, and his bike's been taken away, and got it back. If they get them back, I don't know what to do with them.
Do they have to have a license?
Technically, they're off-highway vehicles, so that would all fall under parental supervision. Off-highway, you can ride a motorcycle when you don't have a license off-highway. If they're on the highway, it's got to be registered, insured. They got to have a license. 16 years old.
So no one under 16 should be on a city street.
Yes.
With a Sura.
Yes.
Because they're
Exactly.
Yeah.
What happens to a car that's been impounded multiple times?
If they got money to get it out, they keep getting it out.
Yeah. Because I live up on Arches, and in the summer, this is real tough. There's a big curve at the end of that hill. I thought some kid, because they come up, because they can scream downhill, and almost everybody on that block hit someone. And we don't want to hit.
And most of the time they're wearing bicycle helmets, which is sufficient. There's a lot of issues. There's a lot of issues there.
And I'm, so I'm not sure, yeah, I think they were 10, 11.
Yeah.
I'm sure I'm not telling you anything, but I was telling her, well,
10's the youngest one I've found so far. And it's,
I mean, this is clearly a parent issue.
it would seem like it to me.
Well, I mean, I feel the guy I saw was an adult.
Yeah. I don't see too many adults on it. That's one of the first. Typically, they're kids that I find.
If it's
It's crazy.
an adult, can you pull their license?
No, they would just be ticketed. And
Okay.
if they did something like that, that's reckless. William down the road is reckless. Kids, if they get ticketed for driving without a license, then puts their license off. That's the usual.
Monty, besides enforcement, what other things do you think can be done?
I was talking to the assistant chief about this just the other day, and he said that we should do some sort of, I don't know, informational video. I don't know how many people that would reach, but I think there's so many of them now, and everybody just thinks they can do what they want.
Yeah.
On the website, it does say this is an off-highway vehicle, don't take it on the road. So I don't know what more the companies can do than tell people not to. People are going to do what they want to do. So, we've talked about doing informational videos, campaigns, stuff like that, trying to let people know.
So are they allowed on like 300 South or just not 191?
The electric motorcycles?
Yeah.
If they're registered and insured, they can be on roads just the way as any other.
and
And driven by a licensed.
And a licensed driver, yes. They have to be street legal though. They don't come street legal. They have to put light kits on them, blinker kits and things like that. They would have to be street legal.
So the middle school kids who have a Sur-on that has lights, but it's not licensed because they're 13.
Yep.
And it's using the bike path on the 300
Yes.
at 30 miles an hour-ish.
Yeah.
That
is 100% illegal.
Yeah. Because
Like I said, it's a motor vehicle at this point. It's not any sort of class 1, 2, 3 e-bike. It's a motor vehicle. So it's got to be registered.
But a class 2 e-bike is a throttle e-bike.
Mm-hmm. Which is why they're not allowed on the path.
They're also not allowed on the path.
I would
But they're allowed on the path that's on
Exactly.
300.
That's why we
Yeah.
know.
When I say path, I mean
Lane,
the
bike lane.
delineated lane, the
Yeah,
bike
the bike
lane.
lane.
Oh, the lane. Yes.
So they're allowed in the lane.
Yes.
They're allowed to do 30.
Not on the electric motorcycles. On the 2 and 3 e-bikes, they can't.
Yeah, anyone can ride, so think about it this way, anyone can ride something that's classified as an e-bike.
Yeah.
But
But I mean,
where,
not
not
is
always.
it the Consumer Safety Protection Commission that does those
They're,
certifications on those?
I can find you the statute. It tells you what they are.
Okay.
Because the state statute says what is a class 1, 2, 3 e-bike. But I think it's just our Moab City ordinance that says they can't be on the paths.
Correct.
So there's no state law saying they can't be on the paths, just city ordinance. Bike lanes, yes, as long as they're not an electric motorcycle. If there's legitimately a motor vehicle, those little electric motorcycles are, they can't be in the bike lanes because they're not bikes. They're a motor vehicle. They gotta be in.
And as soon as he gets out of that bike lane to be on the street, he's not old enough to be there. He's
Bike lane too. So a bike lane is a lane of travel per state code. It is a lane of travel. You cannot drive a motor vehicle in a lane of travel.
But if
So-
they're on an e-bike, it's okay.
It's okay on
Someone's underage, they're not licensed, et cetera, et cetera. It's when it's an e-motorcycle, you can't drive it unless you're above 16 and licensed, and it also can't be on the bike.
Is there the potential for the bike path to change from strictly class 1 to all 3 classes, but enforcing a speed limit instead?
That would be something for the city council.
Yeah, and that was just a reason. That was 2 years ago that class 1s were.
Yeah.
And it just went through the legislative process.
But also that whole, because the BLM had the paved path on BLM, it was kind of coordinated with the city and the county. Well, if you're gonna allow class 1, then BLM will too, so you don't come to now you're legal, now you're not on the same bike.
Right.
And I'd say trying to get 2 and 3 on the paved bike path on BLM themselves.
I don't know if this is included in the OHV education course, which I know is for adults.
Mhm.
But I know they just reworked that. And been on electric vehicle education.
I'm assuming any of those e-motorcycles would be included in that, but I don't think any of the e-bikes are.
What about e-scooters?
Those things are pretty dangerous too. We've had a couple wrecks, and I
But
don't.
are they allowed on the bike path or?
As far as I know.
That's a fuzzy area
Yeah.
too,
Okay.
yeah, and I think that those are technically class 2.
Okay. Well, I guess, yeah.
But again, like, I mean, Monty's challenge is that this is evolving so fast and that every week there's a brand new something. And so, hey, I want to read you something that,
One wheel is also.
Yep.
yeah. So it's actually more complicated. So in the state of Utah, if you're under 8, you're prohibited from riding any e-bike in public. So this is not e-motos, it's just e-bikes. So even class 1. From 8 to 14, you can ride a class 1 or class 2 e-bike, but only with a parent or guardian.
Oh, really?
And then 16 and older, you can ride a class 3 e-bike, but you must have a driver's license to use them on public roads.
Okay.
And so there is, I mean, it's the state is trying to crack down a little bit.
Well, it's like you said earlier. It's like how's anybody supposed to know this because these are changing?
Absolutely, yeah. And it's such a moving target. Yeah.
Well, if you do a social media campaign as good as the Blue Ribbon Coalition does to try to get every road in the state open to kids, I think you can reach some people.
Yeah.
I haven't seen any.
Yeah, we haven't made anything. That's something we've been talking about recently.
Yeah, I could float through the 3 schools, the
Yeah.
high school to middle school. You guys just do a seminar.
We're planning on a bike rodeo next year. I don't know if that's going to happen, but we're making plans for it.
Also, an article in the paper. I bet they would write about this.
Yeah.
Since it's like a local.
Oh, yeah. Hot topic.
I would add, I mean, we tend to get rabbit holed into kids on this topic, but I've actually seen more men riding miscellaneous types of e-bikes, smoking cigarettes on the sidewalk over the last 6 months. I think that if you're doing any kind of education campaign, just like reiterate basic bike legalities in public. I think we're just getting people who are like, oh, I can pedal this thing around now.
Oh,
That's easy.
I would
They've
say-
never ridden a bike, you know. Like,
How tight are the pants? Are they European?
no, we're not.
I would say one of the biggest issues I have right now and yelling at people for all day is just class 1, 2, 3 e-bikes long way up high. Like, it's something that happens.
Oh, even regular bikes wrong way.
Yeah, regular.
That's the way
Yeah.
you should.
That's hard because someone doesn't want to cross Maine if they're going
Exactly.
somewhere.
I get a kick out. My mother-in-law lives over here on 400 North, one of the widest streets in town. And every day I see this guy riding up and down the sidewalk on an e-bike. And I'm like, what is this? Like, there's like 20 feet before you're even in a lane. So anyway, I just want to.
Monty, I know that
It's constant.
I know that you have tight time, so maybe we can just chat a little bit about kind of crimes, things that have happened on the paid trail, and just I know that that's been especially around the Robin Grove Park there. There's been some crime. What all are y'all doing to patrol? I know you got the sweet new e-bike, so that potentially can be helpful.
I love those things. I'll go on whenever I can. But there's a couple people, at least I know of the people I supervise. They go walks out there every day, once or twice a day. Typically, we've I don't know. I can't speak for everybody, but for us, I've been telling I catch people drinking and doing things out there. Number one, if they need to go to jail, take them to jail. Number two, tell them they're not allowed in the park anymore. It's public park. Law enforcement, we can tell them you trespass, get out, don't come back, and just kick them out. There's no reason after all these years that we should have people drinking and causing problems in a park. It is a park, so that's what we've been doing. Like I said, I only manage half of the patrol, so I don't know what the other half's doing most of the time. But
Thank you for doing that. Then I know even just with my daughter, there was some sketchiness going on there, and she's like, "Why were those guys screaming at each other and then at us?" And it's like, so we would just feeling safe on our trails is obviously a big priority.
We've been trying to. I mean, you guys, there's a much larger issue of playing that and trying to find places for people to go appropriate enforcement of that. But I've told them that it's not allowed. Simple. Can't drink in a park, can't smoke in a park. These things can't be done. So we see it. It needs to stop.
You're not allowed to even smoke in that bar.
Utah's Clean Air Indoor Air Act or whatever they call it many years ago. They include parks as clean indoor air.
So change your ways, Dave.
Yeah, no more e-bike smoking, Tyson. Okay. Also, Matt, don't you have a Red Bull helmet? Just circling back.
So Michael Black, our city manager, just shared with me that we are about to get a couple of cameras in the Robin Groff.
Oh, nice.
You know, and cameras that are not being monitored at all times. Cameras that are, recording themselves every 2 weeks, so that if there is a crime, anything else. So hopefully that's going to have some deterrent value.
And that one, since we've kicked a bunch of people out of there and told them not to come back if they're going to be drinking, that we haven't had as many issues.
Yeah.
But they've kind of dispersed now, so it could be some of the other paths.
I do agree. I walked that every single day in the last year. In the last month, it's like, where did they go to? And it's exactly not there anymore. So yeah, I don't know.
They found other places to go.
All right, thank you, Monty. Any last questions for Monty while we're here?
Thank you.
We just really appreciate you. Thanks for what you're doing for this community, Monty. Thanks a ton, and thanks for getting the e-bikes to be able to be on the path and be able to. Monty's like one of the few certified officers in e-bikes in law enforcement, which is really cool. Monty.
Yeah, they're cool.
So,
and I'll add, I didn't till I got on council and started becoming more involved in the functioning of the city. I didn't fully appreciate what an absolutely, and it is also, it's a newer development, what an absolutely unbelievable police department we have, and how accessible they are and responsive, and I mean, I hear comments from the community all the time, and so Monty is a fixture.
he is for sure.
You have the most seniority.
No, Jerry's about
Okay.
that. She's been in the city 21 years.
Wow. And so when you see these people out, give them a high five, tell them thank you. It goes a long way.
I enjoy it. I should be out there on the paths, making sure they're not on them all day if I could.
Yeah, we appreciate that.
All right, let's give Monty a round of applause. Thanks for being here, Monty. All right, Emily has to go soon. So does Katie. So we're just gonna skip ahead real quick. Emily, before you've got to go, do you want to? What do you have to share with the group here?
I don't have much more other than the master plan stuff. My plan was just to summarize what you've already summarized on that. I will say, if you've noticed, the crosswalks have been painted near Miltz and near the Hoodoo. I think there might have been another one. So just keep an eye on those areas and see if you think that painting them changes the way people use them or drive them. Let me know what you think.
It stood out to me. I just saw it this last week, and it stood out to me. So
yeah,
really great point.
Just so everyone knows, I noticed they repaved South Michelle, or South
Yep.
Michelle, and it's wider, and it's not a bike lane, but it's wider.
I wrote it yesterday, and it is different. You just feel until you get kind of to where you're heading downhill into town, and then it gets sketchy again. But it is really nice to have a shoulder out there in Spanish Valley. So, Emily, thank you for being here. Really appreciate you. Thanks so much.
You bet.
Katie.
Well, I don't think we have any bike specific project. We have implementation of projects. We don't have any bike specific projects on tap. VA wise.
We did a lot. Did a lot this year.
Yeah, right. So we did a lot this year, and then when the implementation catches up, and we'll be ready to go for the next project.
Awesome. Anything else for Katie before she has to go?
Hey, Jen Jones had contacted me, and I asked her to send me an email with what she was thinking. I never got that. Some sort of GoPro thing on trails. Does this ring in any sort of bell?
No, but I'll ask her when I get back.
I know she reached out to Busy Boy Tyson, and who denied her any sort of help.
What?
Wow.
For the e-bike implementation, documenting trail conditions now.
Oh,
I think is
okay.
what you're probably getting at.
Could be, I don't know.
I think you were talking about with Lily.
Is this part of Lily?
Yeah.
So somebody from Trail Mix or DCAT needs to get with Lily, whether that's you or Evan. Because I think her internship is up at the end of January, so.
I think she was looking for volunteers to do something and I couldn't ever get a conclusion as to what that was, so send me an email.
Anything else for Katie, BLM? Do we know how Carrie's doing?
Well, the Juniper has arrived.
Oh, for real?
Oh, you guys didn't know that?
No.
Oh, yeah, so.
Oh,
Her
that-
older name is
Juniper.
Not that long ago, maybe. So, another, yeah.
Give her I'll bring her into the mom group.
Yeah.
That's so exciting.
Robust. We need more girls, 6 dudes.
Katie, I have a question about the Long Canyon closures.
Yes.
There's not, it's hard to find any information on it.
So are you talking about the closures? So Long Canyon is Bighorn Sheepsville. And so for our commercial permittees, we have limitations on when Long Canyon declines or any
Is it
activity.
only commercial? Or is everyone?
No, it's only commercial by law. We're requesting that the privates honor those days. And I know there's a signing project to put up, the seasonal closure days. We did the same with Parrot Mesa. So Parrot Mesa has that's not for Sheepsville, that's for Eaglesville. So at Parrot Mesa, the commercial permittees were given notice that because of an eagle's nest, they can't use it between certain dates. And that doesn't apply to privates, but it was signed. And I think, Anna, you might have had something to do with those signs, no? The Parrot Mesa? Maybe not. Okay, we put up some signs that said, please don't climb, base jump, whatever, up here from X to Y dates for SUV. So, that was planned for Long Canyon, but I don't know if the signs have gone up, we lost 6 weeks of work recently.
Yeah.
Totally. So, and then when we came back, a lot of the park rangers who would do that work start having to take their mandatory furloughs. So I'm pretty sure it's still on the list.
Are they the same closures like spring, like?
It's not the same as Period. I believe it's April 15th through June 15th.
Okay, but not in the winter.
Not in the winter. It's lambing season. Raptor closures are a lot longer depending on the raptor. Like eagles, it can be really intense. So, but this closure, the on-time is for sheep lambing. So, we thought about putting Long Canyon in with Mineral and Melrose, the same process, but we didn't do it. So the restrictions by law apply only to commercial activities. We would hope that the community would, it's the same impact to the sheep, so we hope that the community is also.
Yeah, someone asked me recently about when the closures were, and I just didn't find easy to access information, so.
It's saying April 1st to June 15th. It might be April 15th to June 1st, but I know that
Something like
it's that. So it's
That's
April
great.
1st to June.
Thank
When
you.
we have baby lambs. So.
Awesome.
Any other questions?
Okay, thanks, Katie, for being here. Really appreciate you. You're our
Well, I had
best.
a real quick question for Katie, if I could chime in.
Steven, go ahead.
Yeah, hey, Katie, the backcountry horsemen are still pretty interested in getting a UDOT sign out at the beginning of the Mill Canyon Road to kind of let passersby know there's an equestrian facility back there. They feel the facility's underutilized, and a lot of people just don't know where to search on recreation.gov. So we talked a little bit about getting a contact if we would go to UDOT or if you would go to UDOT. So we're interested in, following up on that. The other thing we had was we do have a couple updates to recreation.gov. We find that some of the equestrian facilities are searchable when some are not. So if there was someone we could work with to get that straightened out. I mean, 2 of the corrals are fine, but if you search the other ones, it's not really in the search criteria. So that's our concerns.
It would be Erin. She does our rec.gov at BLF, Erin Howard. She's our rec.gov expert.
Great. If you could send us a quick link, we will send her our suggestions and work with her directly.
work with her directly. I'll flip that for you to reach out to her. And while we're on the topic of horses, I want to thank the Backcountry Horsemen for, they've been replacing the gates on the corrals at the campgrounds. And I just got notice that the Lone Mesa corral, which Lone Mesa does have corral for those who want to camp up there with your horses, that we used to have these wood gates, which look beautiful, but aren't quite as sturdy. So it was replaced with a steel gate. Backcountry Horsemen.
Nice.
So thanks for that.
Cool. Okay. Anything else for Katie?
No questions on oil or gas or coal?
Thank you, Katie. Appreciate it. Appreciate you being here. Okay, I have a note from Brian at the Forest Service. Unfortunately, we won't have any at Trail Mix today. Everybody's double booked. Couple updates on winter rec. Some of this may overlap with Kirsten's report. Nordic grooming equipment is in place at Geyser Winter Trailhead. Geyser Pass Road closes at Winter Trailhead on December 15th. Luna / Kirsten working on getting a grooming training together potentially December 20th. New storm snow stake camera. So if you can visually see how much snow has fallen during each storm, link in the avalanche forecast. Oh, that's interesting. This Saturday, December 13th, is the UAC ski waxing fundraiser at the Mark. Happy holidays. See you next month, hopefully. There you go. So that was from Brian. We hope so too, Brian.
It's too busy hanging out with Sasquatch.
Exactly. I saw that. Sasquatch. Okay, Sam, by the way, we're really happy that you're back. Sorry that you had to be gone for. We're really happy that you're back. Yeah. What do you have for us?
I was on a fire for a while and then the government shut down. So
Yeah. Nice excuse, Sam. Okay.
Yeah.
Excuse.
I got a few updates, some of them recreation focused and some of them just like kind of updates of what's been going on in the park since the last time I was here. We removed the radio tower at the top of Cedar Mesa in the Needles district, which was just like some remnant infrastructure in wilderness. So that was a pretty big win and it was a big project that we did. And I was pretty stoked on that. We're going to continue this year to be focusing on just like remnant infrastructure within the park that is illegal infrastructure in wilderness and didn't go through the proper compliance beforehand. So just get it removed. We're planning to move forward with installing a gate on the east side of the White Rim at the bottom of Schaefer. It'll be an unlocked gate. It'll just be there, dummy locked, with a sign on it, letting people know that a day use permit or overnight permits are required and just kind of be like a stop where people have to pause for a minute. And then hopefully it'll help with search and rescues where folks oftentimes are just kind of cruising down Schaefer, going on the White Rim when they meant to take that left turn onto Potash and take that back to Moab, which is pretty common. I'd say every overnight patrol I've been on the White Rim, I'm contacting people this year who meant to go down Potash and they find themselves at the top of Murphy. They're like, we're trying to go to Moab. And it happens. One patrol I contacted 3 people that were all separate from each other that had that same thing happen. So
They move our sign.
they did go by a sign, but they didn't. I understand how it's confusing. It's just a straightaway, and they're like, "Yeah, this goes straight to Moab." Sure, but then it curves and goes for another 100 miles. So that should hopefully help in permit compliance and just help visitors' experiences. And it's going to be an unlocked gate. It's not like we're shutting access or anything like that. It's just to have a pause.
Like stop and read.
Yeah, exactly.
Will it be like a please close gate type of thing? Like you just always
Totally.
keep it closed when you
Yeah.
go through? Because I know that they initially said that they were thinking of doing a pin thing for people that had the permits, but then they worried about people getting stuck and not having it.
Totally.
So that's why they didn't do
Or
that.
people leaving it open and then a person going to Musselman Arch and then coming back and they're like, oh,
Big
there's
stuff.
a locked gate. Now I'm stuck. And that would cause a lot of issues,
Yeah. Okay.
as you could imagine. And then maybe being unprepared and they go the other way. And that would, there's serious search and rescue issues that could happen with that.
Yeah.
We're replacing the hard scrabble B toilet. It's been closed for the last year. And so that will be done next spring as well. The road into Arches had some damage to it due to flooding that is now fixed. So both lanes are open to.
That was a wild flood that just kind of hit that one kind of north of Moab area.
Yeah.
I mean, it brought so much debris onto the paved trail and into Arches. That was
Totally.
crazy.
It is pretty crazy. They're expanding the bookstore next year, Arches Visitor Center. Plans for time to entry program remain in development, and we don't. Yeah, that's where we're at for time to entry. Hopefully, we have some guidance soon on what that looks like, but for now, it's just remaining in development.
What time to entry is it?
Yeah, time to entry would be happening during the winter anyway. So in theory, it'd be starting in April if our pilot program were to continue. We just don't really have a real update on that. During the shutdown, there was several pretty high-profile graffiti incidents. There's one at Devil's Garden, which means some other rangers who've since removed. There was some really pretty big graffiti down in Natural Bridges over an archaeological site where there was a bunch of handprints. More handprints were added on top of ancestral Puebloan handprints. That is really unfortunate. Really hard to get funding to figure out. There's like 3 specialists in the nation to remove that.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's like really delicate and really a bummer. There was a 3-mile off-road track in Salt Valley during the shutdown where several vehicles had driven, essentially just made a new road in Salt Valley within the park. It's just a big off-road track. So we're working on fixing that, reseeding it, rehabbing that area. Yeah, so all of those are still under investigation. Yeah, all of that during the shutdown. There was a lot of other stuff that happened, but those are the biggest ones during the shutdown. Southeast Utah Group did secure RTCA funding to start talking about bike access into Arches and Island in the Sky.
Oh.
And they're talking to different stakeholders like Moab City, Grand County, BLM, Chamber, you guys, yeah, and state parks about that, because there is funding for that now. And
Sweet.
It's pretty sweet.
Colin and I are both on that.
Cool.
Yeah, I know that's been a hot topic since I've been here. Yeah, that's a hot topic since I've been showing up to these meetings, probably before me, of people really wanting that access. So that's exciting.
Yeah, it is exciting.
Cool.
Moving forward, and discussions are being had about that.
Great.
It'll be great. Besides that, we're just going under like normal visitor center hours during the winter, where like the Needles Visitor Center is closed, so we're having all just self-issue back-country permits. There's no fee associated with that, as well as the campground down there. There's no fee associated for the winter with just camping at the campground in the Needles. It's a great time to get out hiking. So I know it's not Grand County, but still part of the parking is cool.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, just slightly shorter hours at visitor centers. They're all closing at 4:30 for the winter. Yeah, that's pretty much the biggest things that I had to talk about. Does anybody have any questions about park stuff or anything?
Thanks for all you do.
Stan, it's so huge having you here. I feel like every time you weren't here, and I mean, you had the excuse of a government shutdown, whatever. But there's just been lots of questions. So it's not so nice to have you here, and you brought a lot of valuable info to us. So thank you so much.
Yeah,
really appreciate you. Really appreciate you a lot.
I'll add it's good to see y'all back working.
Yep.
I go to Arches a lot.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like the Wild West out in Arches when it was shut down. It was kind of like, it was just a weird, different vibe out there. And it's amazing when somebody's in the booth there that like people just behave.
It's called locus
Yeah.
control. If you see one area of control, you think there's control. But I would like to add that the BLM did, thanks to the Utah Department of Recreation, we did get an ORI, I think that stands for Outdoor Recreation Infrastructure Grant, to repave the 313 overlooks. So we will have overlooks to match our strolling trails now. So they will be repaved when 313 is repaved next summer, or partially repaved next summer. And we also got to put in a new exit at Corona Arch, because Corona Arch it gets a lot of people, and the people are going in the parking lot, they're going out the parking lot. I am just so worried that some kid's not going to be seen as someone backs out. So the parking lot will become one way. You go in and then out where the sight lines are better, and you don't have to cross those pedestrians twice. You just have to pass them once. And then the third part of the grant was for improved accessibility and stuff. So,
Cool.
so we did see those.
Awesome. Thank you, Sam. Thank you, Katie. Brad, state parks.
We've been working on flood damage.
That's what you got.
I feel like that's like, I gotta be honest, when I moved to the high desert, I didn't think I'd be doing as much as that as I have been. We helped, we jumped in with Ride with Respect folks and worked on some trails with them. We worked on trying to close down or divert people from riding the gas line as a trail out there. And then we jumped in and helped Emily. We send, I should track this number. I just didn't think to, but like the amount of people we send to like the Willow Springs dinosaur tracks, most folks think that like it's ours, but it's not. But through those floods, they all got covered up. You couldn't. And so we helped Emily clean those up, I think last Thursday, Friday, something like that. And then Thanksgiving was our first Thanksgiving. I didn't know what to expect. It was beautiful camping weather, so we ended up being a lot busier than anticipated, so that was nice. And I think that within the next 2 weeks, we're losing virtually all of our seasonals, but 2. So like every other park around here, we'll have our skeleton crew, and our visitor centers right now is still open 9 to 5, 7 days a week. And Ben and I, the other full timer, which I think you guys met, all of our spare time is going to training and classes. We got to become water treatment plant operators, wastewater treatment plant operators. So that's like a whole side career under a career. Yeah. I don't know what kind of hat you get for that one. I'm looking forward to see what it is. Yeah.
The Trail Ambassadors, that's a great merchandise.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I feel like there's definitely some opportunity for some merch on that.
It's like a report a poop thing we're gonna talk about. So that's what it's too. Awesome. Anything else?
I think that's it for now.
Okay. What do you
Any
guys?
big plans for? I mean, sure there are. What are the works for 26?
Truthfully, we're still trying to make it through a full calendar year, and so as much as it's not sexy to talk about, the operations, like starting a new park, like we're working on maps and boundaries, and then like employee handbooks, and that we're landlords out there, and so like just developing all that stuff. And then we also are a water treatment plant and a wastewater treatment, and like we got all of that stuff handed to us like in a couple days. And so just the NSO that you get from the Division of Drinking Water, like that's like what I read now as a hobby. But like you don't want anybody to come into your office and like, my belly hurts from drinking your water. And so it's mainly trying to get those kind of ducks in a row that you can't afford to not have in a row. A lot more programming. So we're finishing up our dark sky application. And so we're very, very confident we'll get it. Everybody around us already has it. We're just waiting for a few letters of support that we're going to get, and then it goes in for review, and then we hope to be a part of the Astrofest. So we would be the 4th park of the 3.
Cool.
And then, just bolstering our programs.
You're the 5th. You're out seeing spots.
Oh yeah, that's right. I'm new to the whole
Unit.
Yeah. So
Cool. What you guys have for Brad? Park stuff?
Is your attendance taking away from attendance at Dead Horse?
No, it is not. Honestly, we share. Usually when people come to us, I will say, if you've not been up there, you have to go there.
Are they separate entrance fees?
That's a good question. Like, I can speak at length of every other state that I've worked in, that like usually when you paid to go into a park, it would carry over. But that's a good question. I don't know the answer to that. I should find that out.
Yeah, let us know. Shoot us a note. I'll send
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Send it out.
I mean, it would make sense, but I don't want to say it does or it doesn't because I
Let's
don't
just
know.
decide right now. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we
Today.
want to take a vote?
Yeah.
Hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true, dude. Now that he can vote, he's really coming in.
Yeah.
With the big. Awesome. Thank you, Brad. Appreciate you.
Yep.
Jacques.
Oh man, I just came from a 2.5 hour budget meeting. That's been going on lately. Nothing really to report that way, except we're getting close on the Grand County budget. I guess the biggest news, I'll share it with Anna, is that Grand County has, I don't know if you guys were paying attention to our last commission meeting in November on the consent agenda was an item basically giving the Trail Ambassador program and Stewart Moab, as it's now to be called, wings to go out on its own and thrive, hopefully. That included a whole bunch of assets, money to start out, and all the kind of the infrastructure that was there previously, as far as like tents and signage and things of that sort, including a few vehicles to get the Trail Ambassador off the ground in its role as a supporting nonprofit. So Anna worked insanely hard on that. It definitely gave me a few extra gray hairs there, especially at the end. It was tough, but it was a lot of work. But it's something that I think we're both really proud of, and Anna especially. Just I can't say enough how right here to put into it, just continuing to put into it. So I was really looking forward to seeing her and Mariah thrive in that new role next year. And I think any support that this community or any other can give to them as they kind of make their way would be huge.
Right. Anything else for Jacques?
In a separate thing, and Colin knows this because we talked about it last night, but it looks very much like Moab's going to host probably a couple of NICA races next year at Mud Springs and potentially even one at the Brands. They're still talking NICA, and that schedule's going to get finalized until February. But it's looking really positive, and I think that's another huge thing for the community. I think it's great. It's great for NICA and Moab and mountain biking in general. Just get people here to do our assets. Yeah.
You want to mention the motorized shelter?
Oh yeah, that's a really good point too. In the same meeting, we did have an item that Commissioner Martinez had started working on, where the county is going to pair with State of Utah Department of Recreation we'll help fund a motorized specific trail crew starting next year. That has to go through budgeting and procurement in the state legislative session, but we have budgeted an amount to start that effort out a little bit before they're on a fiscal year, so it would start or I think it would start on July 1st of next year. Potentially like a 4 or 5 person crew to do a backlog of maintenance on motorized trails in Grand County, and that would be run by the state, but in close coordination with the county. It would be a state program. And if you have anything else to add to that, Matt, feel free to color that in. That's kind of the basics. And I think there's still a lot of that dynamic still will be discussed, and some of that's contingent on the state of Utah getting the funding for that program. But great.
That's right. With you expect fitted or not fitted with any of that.
It's so they basically, the way it looks right now, it doesn't nominally, but being the director for Ethics and also the chair of the Motorized Trail Committee, the projects will be prioritized by the Motorized Trail Committee. Okay. So they will discuss what needs attention, and they'll come up with the list and kind of pass those priorities along.
Yeah, the only thing to add would be that Kelton Reese Sullivan has been the lead motorized OHA ambassador. He's going to transition into a new role starting January 1st, where he'll be
OHV trail coordinator. So it, again, new positions or new programs. So there's lots to figure out, but he'll probably be mirroring a bit more of like a Tyson Evan position, working with land managers, because as we know, like projects can take months or years to set up, and then the implementation can happen quickly, but you kind of need that background work to be happening to like line out and organize projects. So I think the vision is that he'll be a bit of that link to help the volunteer committee parallel to this group identify projects, move through that process, and then the state trail crew can implement. And he's on the Grand Canyon right now.
Okay. Chuck, anything else?
Will Kelton be out there patrolling, so, or just, you do everything like he has, or just more concentrating on just fixing the trails, building trails?
He'll be in the field, but yeah, he'll be shifting away from field work with a focus of just visitor contacts to more of like identifying damaged areas, helping with that project development. But the OHV Trail Ambassador program will still continue in our new nonprofit. So yes, we currently have a grant, and next year the way it's going to work is basically Grant County will fulfill that trail work portion of the grant, or that for intensive trail work portion, and then the new nonprofit will basically be a subcontractor to fulfill those educational goals, because when we applied for and were awarded the grant, we were all one department. So we'll still be doing the same work. It'll just now kind of be a different structure.
Okay.
Like with the trail crew of the motorized trail crew, are they going to be like doing travel management or doing like fixing obstacles on, say, like Bridget Canyon, or like using a road grader? What is that?
Putting trail mark.
Great question.
You want me to speak to that?
Sure.
Yeah, Cliff, what's Cliff's last name?
Good.
Yeah, Cliff Coons, he's been in charge for, I don't know how many years now. Doing it. And like one project they were working on just last week is up on Porcupine Rim. There's been 3 really bad areas. You can be as the part-time patrol guy up there driving my razor. I'm like, this is a little sketchy.
Okay.
And I've been up there multiple times helping people with little pullovers. So that area they're finishing up right now. So Cliff, we give him the information. This is really just for Sam's class. Now the other grant area, I don't know where he goes to ask for permission to be able to or not. But where the fix areas where people are having difficulties getting up and over certain obstacles.
Okay.
And it's mainly on the road. The harder obstacles off the road, ask them to help out. It's really the main, like Porcupine Rim. If you go up to the water tanks and head down, there's been a really bad section there for a couple of years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
I think just that I think there's been kind of a consistent desire from the motorized community to have more routine maintenance like there is on the non-motorized side. So currently, if there's like a trail report, there's it's on like a mountain bike trail, right? We have sort of this partnership with Green County. We can get on it pretty quickly. And so I think there's just a desire to have a bit more of that, like, identifying areas that need maintenance, they're causing people to go around obstacles, where there's signage needed, just like those basics.
Cool.
Awesome. Okay. Thank you.
Brendan, I gotta roll if there's any.
Oh yeah, so Kaya, hiking. By the way, we're so glad you're back and that you got your partner in crime with you.
Partner in crime, yep. Just figuring out like what work looks like moving forward, because I do technically work a full-time job still, but I'm 4-month-old. Who is a little complex as far as care still. I mainly just wanted to know if there are any trails that you think could use spies and some updates. Hiking trails wise, because we're getting out. Got the carrier, Arthur's into it.
Oh, great. Hannah's got this.
And if me doing the climb on Mud Springs is any indicator, I am wildly out of shape. Because that took me like an hour and a half to get to the top.
Dellenbaugh Tunnel, has anyone been out to that?
I went out there last year before it got repainted.
That would be a good one to check out.
Yeah.
Just because
That's so fast.
yes.
I would love your opinion if you do 100 Canyon Rim.
Oh, okay.
I've been.
Kirsten and her friend have done that twice now in the last week and a half.
Ooh, yeah.
They're trying to link it up together. It's with something like that. They're trying to do something that they've been trying to do for a while, and they still haven't pulled it off.
Well,
But
yeah. Instead of
they-
coming, if you go up, it's like, where do I go?
Right.
And then, but if you see on top, if you go all the way around that land and then come down halfway, that's the best way that I've discovered.
Yeah, I don't.
Get down off.
Neither one of them said anything about the trail conditions or anything like that. They have a great time every time they go, even though their missions fail.
Yeah.
So.
It would be great to get a report on G-Barch. See more traffic.
Okay, yes.
Recently,
My mom was out there last weekend.
And then Mary Jane Canyon's also seeing more traffic and similar search results on busy weekends to like Grand Staff. Which
The
I know the
winter,
BLM already put, well, I mean, not in the
Yeah.
winter, but just like, what does it look like after it sees it? Because it is a sensitive area. Yeah. Those two areas are kind of still, more use.
Okay, thank you, Kaya, for being here, and with special guest Arthur. Thank you. Okay, next is from the city. Patrick sent me a note and said, "Hey, Brennan, I'm at meeting 11 or 10 city update. We've awarded a contract to Landmark Design for city wayfinding plan. Open house at the Mark on December 18th at 10 a.m. to solicit community input. I may be able to reel him late to the meeting, which he hasn't been able to. So that's an important meeting. If you can make it, open house Mark, December 18th, 10 a.m. To solicit our input for the kind of design of the city and the roads and how downtown looks. So that'll be a good one to go to.
December 18th at
December 18th at 10 a.m. at the Mark. Scott.
Happy holidays, everybody.
Happy holidays. So happy to see you.
Forget my bag here.
We surpassed last year's numbers recently.
I don't know if we congratulate you for that. Did we congratulate? What do we? I don't know if we.
We're proud of it.
Okay.
We're doing more all the time. Right after, immediately following our last meeting here, we had the rescue that everyone from town saw.
Yes, we watch it all happen.
You guys would probably get like even more donations if you just like stayed.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Well, it's interesting. Just like a few weeks prior, did a mock rescue at that exact location. But yeah, it was. That was one of our. I think it's the big sexy rescue. Helicopters, ropes, and it's hard because that generates this attitude within the community that their tax dollars are going towards these extreme sports enthusiasts. And if you look at what we recently put up on Facebook,
7%.
it's a very low percentage, especially when you look at ours. Are by far our largest demographic is hikers. And mountain bikers and OHV users are like almost tied right thereafter. Parachute activities. I was really surprised with the nice weather. We didn't have more of that over Thanksgiving, so that was nice. We did have one fatality out on the river, and with a parachute activity. And then today the last 2 days I've been dealing with news media. I don't know if you've heard about this hiking rescue in Arches. Quicksand is an actual thing, and I'm getting emails from all over the country from news organizations that want to know about quicksand. It's technically quicksand. It's a fine silt that's saturated with water, and you don't continue to sink like in Blazing Saddles or something. You sink down and stop. And that guy if you haven't read his Reddit post, it is quite interesting. It's on the Hayduke Trail, I guess. Yeah, what's that?
The beginning of it.
Yeah, it kind of changed his plans, but So yeah, we did 2 calls on Sunday, so that brings us up to like 143. Our all-time record, I think, is 154 in 2016 when Arches, the Canyonlands didn't have much of a SAR presence at that time, and so we did a lot of park stuff. We did send out a bunch. I stuffed 360 envelopes and sent out begging the community for money. The response has been pretty good so far, and please feel free to, I think, remind people that most we do is for hikers, mountain bikers, and OHVers. It's not necessarily the climbing and base jumping and that sort of thing that tends to make the news. When we just do like a carry out from Mill Creek, I guess that's not newsworthy. That's about what I got.
Steven, did you have something for Scott?
Hey, Scott, real quick, we also had a quicksand incident with the equestrians. We had a horse that was attempting to ford Professor Creek, stuck in the quicksand, bit of panic. Rider got off and she lost the horse for 24 hours. Extensive search, but we found it. So if they're interested in anecdotal quicksand stories, we could share ours.
There you go. Pass it off to Steven.
Well, if you would, can you email me a contact? I'd be happy to dish the news media off to other people too. Do you have my email?
If you want,
you
can send it to me too, Steve. I'll connect you guys if you need to.
Yeah, it's a good story anyway. They may, get the idea. It really happens.
Okay. And then I don't know if we got to congratulate you, right? There was the ballot initiative to continue to help fund some of that went to search and rescue, right?
That was
I don't know.
Okay. JK, fine. Well, congratulations on that, I guess.
I did want to say really quickly that all of that footage, there was a really cool video from the state helicopter making
So
contact.
cool,
Yeah, that was pretty sweet.
Yeah, and a reminder, that's not just a Grand County search and rescue thing. That's a combination of working with multiple agencies like Classic, who gets our rescuers up there.
Well, I learned that from the podcast.
EMS, who
all the different
EMS was the individual that secured the patient and was able to, give him some drugs right there on the side of the cliff. And we had DPS then. We were going to do a full-on technical operation, but then we had storm weather approaching, and we just decided to let DPS do their thing. And I think sometimes we get too much credit and not enough goes to like EMS and some of these other agencies that we train with regularly.
Awesome.
Scott, any?
I was just going to add, I had the unfortunate pleasure of hanging out with Faye's husband, Michael, and being a part of the second call on Sunday out to monitor Merrimack. It was a friend of mine who stepped off a ledge, broke her leg. Very silly thing, something that any of us could have done. And it was tibia plateau fracture that is kind of a deal breaker on the bike for getting people out. And partially from, being here and knowing, but also partially from the podcast, being like, all right, it's about 12:30 right now. We have about 4 hours before it gets more comfortable out here. Called somebody with a truck, and then it was like, she can't move without like support. And search and rescue was to us, had the person stabilized in a gurney back to their UTV in under 3 hours from the call. And I was psyched. Like, I was blown away at the response time, how quickly got there. Did help. I got a hold of John Marshall and let him know exactly where we were. But I just wanted to share that.
So cool.
It was.
We have the best. We have the best search and rescue department.
Unfortunately, but the response and the
Yes.
timing out there was.
Great job at managing some of the parade activities.
I thought this year's parade was great. I liked it because no one yelled at me this time. Wanting to get onto Main Street. I was just in the Walker parking lot. But yeah, what an event we had. We hosted the advanced technical rope rescue this weekend with Kane County and Salt Lake County. And they were both, they all like went downtown and they were like, oh my God, this is great. It's an interesting community event.
Scott, any news or updates on the podcast?
Yeah, come on, Scott. You want more episodes?
We're working together to hopefully next week it's on the agenda and we'll move the intellectual property out of the county to a nonprofit that can then utilize advertising to continue it. I've already got a lineup of subjects that would love to tell their story. I bet you the quicksand.
Quicksand episode 1, season 2.
Yeah, the quicksand one. That guy. I talked to him. He was very interesting, and he was happy to tell his story. And I love that he, like, in his thing, he was like, and donate to these people.
Right.
So
awesome. Well, thank you.
Pitzer's Big Rock 3.
Thank you, Scott.
That's on the list.
For everything. And please pass along our thanks and gratitude to your whole team. It's just, they're amazing. All right, health department. Jonathan was not able to be here, but he said there is a link to the report of poo survey. Get ready for this. Anna Sprout will be there, can talk about it a bit as well. And then he gave me the link, which I'll send out with the meeting notes. Other than that, there's no updates. You want to talk about report of poo at all, Anna?
Yeah, I'm not a frequent user of it, but Mariah certainly is.
Report of poo.
But I think the hope is trying to identify what type of poop there is along that trail or in that area. Is it human or is it dog? And that will help determine signage needs, education needs, cleanup needs, stuff like that. Especially along Mill Creek. That's one of our frequented areas. But, as we see it, folks traveling to new places like Cheap Arch, there's going to be select poop spots. So every area is seeing some type of increase in use. So wherever you're going, if you see something, animal scat or dog or human, it's good for us to know. Or toilet paper. Like, that's an option too. And it comes, you can add a photo. This is all really great for presentations.
Like social media.
Yeah. We might just have a report of poo.
I'm sure it exists, Faith. I'm sure somewhere out there it exists.
But I think originally it was open to land managers, and now we're kind of slowly opening it to the community to see it before we open it to the general public.
Hey.
One thing to add too is, like, for education, there's always the question of, like, you give $1 for education, and then, like, what is the impact? And so, for human waste, we've been measuring that up through, like, how many wag bags are the weights of wag bags collected at these specific collection stations, and, like, the number of wag bags sold or handed out. But it's just like an additional metric too, right? So if you start tracking the poos, and then you're seeing areas of issues decrease with certain measures, that's helpful feedback, and it's helpful to, like, keep funding these initiatives.
Yeah. It's a good reminder, Mariah is partially grant funded for a no point source water grant. And so these types of metrics will help potentially fund
Cool. Okay. Matt, do you have anything for Sand Flats? I know we'll hit you up for trail running, but do you have anything for Sand Flats?
Yeah. So Andrea's not here. She actually is visiting here.
Oh.
I thought you would be giving it the ring grant.
Zoe, our interp ranger, is doing that.
Well, so for Sands Flats, the number one thing for everybody here, it started and it's going to end the first week of January. We picked out a tree up there, a pinyon tree, to have Christmas lights on. And it's solar power. It's going to go, it starts at, I think, around like 5 and stays on to like 8.
I saw the signage that said, don't take anything from it. Don't. Yeah,
Oh, you've been?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So if you haven't been, go up and check out it. It's right on the Slick Rock Trail.
So it's on the Slick Rock Trail.
Mm-hmm.
Is it visible from the parking lot?
I'm not telling you, you gotta go
I mean, wasn't this part of the county initiative that they dumped a bunch of money into
Yeah.
to bring tourists to it?
Yeah.
Okay, so.
I don't know if they dumped much money into that one. but-
Yeah, lots of solar power lights.
I think it's cool. I think it's cool.
Yeah, it's cute. Something different. We've never done. The next one is everybody's here invited. Thursday is our end of the year stewardship meeting at 3 p.m. at our office where GCAT is. And so we'll hit a bunch of stuff there. Andrea, part of the county, has been in a lot of workshops with the fees because our fee went from like 20,000. It's going to be raised about 80,000. And so everybody's trying to figure that out for the workshops. The Next Guy program has been a big hit. We're going to continue that for next year. Definitely do 2 or 3. Old growth, the trees, the forest up there. I don't know if we started a video, and it's not done yet, but I didn't notice until I was one of the runs to go out there and take the crew and get some, film some trees. Some of the pinyon trees up there are anywhere from 500 to 2,000 years old.
Crazy.
It just blows my mind away. And, you know, some of the scientists that you're talking to. So that video is going to be out, you know, starting in January about the trees and stuff. The plague tree was Leave No Trace. It was a huge hit. Andrea's been getting a lot of people are you can do it again. You can do it again. So who knows? Maybe next year we'll probably post that again. Falcon Climb,
Tyson.
Tyson updated. Travis books should be out. Sorry. Porcupine, I gave a little update on that. They're just finished that up for the HOVs. And then the next big project is going to start in January. It's the dinosaur tracks that are up on Hell's Revenge after the first fin. And, we're going to redo that whole area. A contractor's going to come in and put new fencing and signing and the whole bit and make it a little bit easier for people to park their off-road vehicles there and check out the dinosaur tracks. And part of that, we're probably going to put in a walking path from the Slick Rock Trail also. Okay. And the main reason for that is, talking about funny incidents, is not once, twice this year so far, people have driven up the first fin on Hell's Revenge. And just the one I was at was a lady in a minivan, small little minivan with her daughter, using this device, following Google's maps to the dinosaur tracks. And I'm like, man, didn't you read those signs back there?
Did the minivan make it up the fin?
She made it up over the first thing, and she got her van, backwards, cockeyed up like this. We got her out. But it's just like, man, didn't you read the signs before you attempted to go on this trip? Well, Google's the way to go check out the dinosaur tracks. I want you to show my daughter the dinosaur tracks. And you're like, oh my gosh. And so it's become a bigger issue, even at the booth. A lot of the people getting like,
totally. The fact that she got that far.
You see it. You have to explain you can't take that car out. You got to walk. And, you have to, over the right vehicle. So it's been becoming a big issue. So this January, we're going to take care of that problem. And that's it for Sam's Spots.
Awesome.
Really, I got one thing. Kathy and I talked about it Thanksgiving weekend, after Thanksgiving. The porta potty should stay at LPS through Thanksgiving.
That's good. That's good.
Do you want to just cover trail running since you got the floor?
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
So trail running, which I'm more excited about. 19 races, they all are done for this year. So that was a record doing 19 races for this year. We were down 52 finishers compared to last year.
Oh,
so yeah,
pretty close.
Just 52 is not too bad. So we're at 8,934 runners that came to Moab that finished one of the 19 races. The races that actually grew were the 3 pavement races, the Canyonlands Half Marathon on the River Road, the turkey trot that just happened, and then just this last week, Moab, the local 10K race. Those are the ones that grew the biggest, the 3 road pavement races, which is bizarre. But all the rest, 52 people, I think that's pretty good. This environment. For next year, there's going to be 20 races, a brand new one by a bigger company called Vacation Races. And they're where you go online and they have races all around the globe. They cater to a lot of the national park themes, and they're finally have one here in Moab. It's going to start September 17th, a 3-day running event, and some of the runs are going to go. It's all trail. Jim High Bridges area, taking advantage of Meg 7, Porcupine down to the River Road, and the other one is Pritchard Canyon and stuff. So every race or run is going to be 15 to 17 miles or so. And it's all inclusive where they get you accommodations, or a lot of people camp out, and food and drink and all that stuff. And it's a little pricey, but people are paying this globally to check out these new places where these national parks are and these trails are and stuff. So vacation races, and that's going to be the new big one for next year. And that, I guess, up to 20 races for next year. Cool. Update with the website.
I got a question on that really quick. Are they working through a local outfitter?
Through a local outfitter. I don't think so. I know they got permitted. They were going to stage everything out at the south of town at the horse. It's the arena out there. That's where they're on horse.
Communication will go with that.
Yeah. And their website is up, and it's pretty beautiful. I mean, for how they laid out. They're calling it the Moab Trail Fest. So cool. And then with our county website, discovermoab.com, thanks to Dyson and Maddie, starting in January, runners will actually have a landing page describing runs to go on, trail and pavement to go on in Moab, and list our races too.
Cool. Way to go. Collaboration. Sweet. Look at us. Just making it happen. Great job.
And that's it.
All right, we got 10 minutes. We got to move quick. My report is just thank you for being here. Be outside. You'll be happier. Turn off the news. You go outside and just be in, and you'll be much happier. That's all. Samantha.
Spring Spruce is official. Spring Spruce Up is official. It's on the little the gear calendar that went out with your coupons. April 11th. It's confirmed.
Saw it on there.
Just make note of that for next year. We'll talk about more.
Do we need to, when do we start talking about that?
Like
Next meeting.
yeah, January.
Okay.
January, isn't it?
And actually, on that note, our next meeting, we had it on the agenda for this week. I think we really need to have a conversation about e-bike messaging and what we're going to put out there, and start that messaging ASAP, so that when they do start coming in March, do we have something? But go ahead.
I was gonna say, we are positioned to immediately start working, but we just don't have funding.
Sure.
So if there's a way that the community can rally to help fund at least a brand's position over the spring and fall, we have a bike program. So I don't know what that looks like, or if there's motivation, but before March, if I can get a number together.
I think
it's
discussion.
I mean, is this necessary? Did Fruta do that when they opened e-bikes to?
You're talking just a prep. It was more like the BLM and other partners. We just want to get ahead of it and just have a good, positive communication message rather than just nobody knows. So whatever. So we just keep thinking about that. We'll be discussing it next meeting.
Just kind of a brainstorm of what people feel is necessary, what they've seen in other places that helps with it going well in an area.
And hey, on the inclusive note, it would be really helpful if by the next meeting, we at least started the process of developing the projects, because that's the.
So we talked about last meeting.
Okay.
I know you couldn't be part of, but we just talked about we're still going to be holding it. We know it's really important. We're probably going to back down from not having as many projects, so we can focus on just making some projects be very good rather than having 20 different projects.
Okay.
So that was a discussion last night.
And make it a 1-day thing.
And we're doing it at a day rather than having to do like the night and then the follow up. It's all going to happen on that Saturday.
And actually, I guess maybe I'm misremembering, or this is maybe I've said this before and I'm not remembering, or maybe this is new information. But I think for the number of projects, I actually think that that's a bit easier to pull off if we, if there's people who are interested in leading projects, and it's this not a whole lot more organization to get them lined up. And if there's a few people, I think the hurdle we're running into is just the multiple days, trying to staff it with reduced staff
And food.
and food and those logistics. So trying to maybe like pare down some of the logistics, and then for projects, I think like we can maybe just see who's interested and how many, and if there are people who have led projects before, it might be a little bit easier next year too.
I'll write up kind of what
Have it ready for next.
what we
time.
discussed.
That'd be great.
The mark reserve.
What's that?
We need the mark again.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll use the mark
Is
again
it reserved?
for it as a staging
It's not
place.
But so,
Yeah, but-
Maddie, based on what you're saying, I think that a lot of the partners need time. And so maybe that's a good thing to reach out to
Start to reach out now.
Doranwind, all of our partners in the past, state parks, and just see. And then also, I think there's a great opportunity for the reps to be thinking about projects that might be, beneficial to their communities, or reaching out to their communities just to see if there are any places of need. Because that's the logistics of, putting it all together is pretty easy. It's the projects that you really got to get going.
Yeah, and I think having it just be that one day and taking out the other things will make it a lot easier. We'll have that the very first discussion item for next month's. We'll start talking about that. So, okay, I want to read a few folks that
Anna
could.
has.
Okay, Anna.
I would like to give a quick update on Cerebro.
Okay, go for it. You're on here still too, I know.
Oh, yeah. I know.
We're behind. Normally we're ahead, but we've been
But
behind.
we are officially a nonprofit, incorporated in the state of Utah. We filed yesterday with the IRS. Ideally, that comes in the next couple of months. For the time being, Rim to Rim is our umbrella nonprofit, who will probably, until we get our status, we'll probably apply to grants with. We got $150 or $150,000 from the county. That's $100,000. That's great, and it is $100,000 less than what we needed for our essential operations, which is me and Mariah, and then just overhead costs that come with existing. And so very thankful and pivoting to fund some of our overhead costs. UNHA did provide us with $35,000. And thank you to their board. But if you know anybody that I should be connecting with right now, 2026 is going to be really tight. But with some community support, it might not have to be. Our goal is to set ourselves up financially for 2027 with grants and everything like that. So any advice, connections like that is really welcome.
Awesome.
So we don't, I'm only talking about essential operations. I haven't talked about priority, which is like Brian Lowe. We really need to keep him on. So that's a whole different cost. So we are chugging along, and we're going to be okay because I'm going to get through this year with a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. But I will cry less if there's reason.
We want you to cry less. Well, congratulations, by the way. First off,
Here's
congratulations.
the joy.
Congratulations, and we're here to support you. So, thank you. Okay, I wanted to read a few folks that couldn't be here, and Steve, I'm going to read what Marty has here. If you want to add anything, so she says, I've been enjoying stories published by the Backcountry Horsemen of America monthly newsletter, and particularly one in the Minnesota chapter called The Power of Communication. An equestrian club at the event of 900 hikers were scheduled to be on a multi-use trail system in a state park on the same day. The state park connected both groups who communicated how to cooperate their events, start schedules and routes, and a short, simple narrative of how to behave when meeting horses on the trail, which is act normal. Continue talking and let horses know you're there. Through communication and education between the different user groups, the event went off without a hitch. It worked. At our December 5th chapter meeting, we elected board members for 2026, and our discussions included the new non-motorized trails master plan, user compatibility, and possible need for future development of equestrian specific trails in certain areas. Newly elected president Melissa Wardle attended the Utah Outdoor Rec Grant Workshop, which tends to fund larger projects than we have, but perhaps we can lump several smaller ideas together for application periods in 2026. Also discussed was Backcountry Horseman chapter members organizing a work day for the Onion Creek Horse Corrals in association with the April 11th Spring Spruce Up date. Stephen, anything else you want to add to that from Marty?
Yeah, real quick. Missy took over as the president. I'm still involved, of course. Missy is a wildlife biologist for the BLM and a falconer and an avid equestrian. She's a really good resource and an excellent equestrian, but mostly concerned with San Juan County. We do have a bunch of suggestions for 2026, so I'll save that for the next meeting. We will propose those ideas and get that out. The other thing I did want to bring up was, as a quick review, 2025 was our year to go through all our local corral systems. All these corrals were built by ourselves or with partnership. They include the major update at the upgrade at the Courthouse Rock Corrals. We did a major addition, the refab of all the gating systems down in Onion Creek, the addition in gates and latching systems at Lone Mesa, and then the equestrian facility we have over at Ken's Lake were all worked on extensively. And like I said, it was all done with donated money. Didn't have to ask anybody for any money, or it was all done with grants also. We also are really interested in working with Sitla on a possible equestrian facility on the LaSalle Mountains. Besides that, I think we covered it all, and that's it.
Awesome. Thank you, Stephen. Appreciate you. And another person who sent note, Kirsten from this with skiing group, couldn't make it. My skiing update is that we'll start grooming after road closure, which is the 15th, and we have volunteer training on December 20th with few people. So hopefully we'll end up with a good crew for this season in time for when it really starts snowing. Okay, Kathy, what do you have for us?
Greetings from Larry the Lizard. If you haven't seen that installation, it is really something. It's a 20-foot long sculpture. I hiked the riverway, so I went up the hill to see Larry. I do worry about him being isolated. His baby reported the hijinks. People sitting on his head, and having raised 3 boys, I could just kind of see that it would be attractive to some shenanigans. So it's lovely, but I worry about it.
It is pretty cool.
Where is it?
It's on mile 1 of the River Road.
The river regulations.
That big parking area.
I saw Larry
can't
coming through
miss
town
it,
on a
yeah.
truck, but I didn't know. It was
Oh, okay.
day
And he's
drive.
facing the river, which is kind of neat. You know, so you're sitting there. But,
Thank
neat
you.
location.
Thank you,
Don't worry about
Kathy, and thanks for amazing work on your minutes as always. We really appreciate you. Biking, David couldn't make it here, and he had nothing to add here. Faith.
I wasn't here last meeting, but my friend Joe sat in, so
Did great.
hopefully he was
He did great.
substitute, and hopefully you don't like him better than me. Moderately. Joe's awesome. He just published a guidebook for cragging in Moab, which is single pitch climbing, like Wall Street, Takeout Beach, etc. He's working on a bigger guidebook for Indian Creek. So we like Joe a lot for doing all that work for us. I have gotten some more responses from my roped activity trail survey, but still only have 23 responses. So it's definitely hard to get people to answer. The people who have answered have been very thorough. So I feel like I already have some really good information, and the majority of people answering are local. Definitely erosion and trail braiding and litter and waste are like top subjects. yeah, I kind of think next month it'd be cool if we have time, if I can be on the agenda. to
Yeah.
give more
Just
full
shoot me a note
report.
so I can
Yeah,
end it. That'd be
about,
great.
like, what
And
I-
by the way, 23, if you get 23 of your representatives to respond to something, every other group is super jealous of that. So that's really good. I know it sounds like you, but that's amazing.
And it's nice because it's a spread, like there's some highliners, mostly climbers, I think some people who canyoneer, and some people who clicked other, whatever that means. I don't know what they're doing with the ropes, if they're not highlining or canyoneering, don't want to know. But yeah, what's cool too is a lot of the trails that I would love to focus on are gonna overlap with hikers, so it's kind of like dual use.
Yeah.
I hiked up Day Canyon, that was also mentioned from a survey responder. I hiked up Day Canyon a few weeks ago and the trail is horrible and hard to follow, and it happened to like mini flash while I was up there, and then the trail was even harder to follow because it was in the wash most of the time, and when you can't be in the wash, you're kind of just like traipsing through brush. So yeah, that might be a really good target in the future. But yeah, I have good responses and I hope to get more. I'm just gonna keep kind of bombarding the internet with the survey.
Awesome.
And hopefully next month we'll have like a more full report for you.
Send me an email so I can remember. We'll put it on there. Thank you, Faith. That's awesome. Okay. No, we say the best for last. I'm talking about the members at large. You're second to last, and then we're talking about members at large. Yes, Maddie.
Oh, okay. We're gonna do a celebration of life for Fred Wilkinson.
Oh.
On March 28th. So nothing else is planned, but we reserved the horse thief group sites on the north side of the road. There's like 4 group sites. We reserved all of them, so we don't really know who will arrive, but they're reserved for Friday night for people coming out of town, and then on Saturday night as well. And so I believe on Saturday during the day we'll do some type of celebration. There
Cool.
might be a trail ride or
You said horse thief?
yeah, horse thief campgrounds.
Oh, that's great.
Put a note on your calendars for March 28th for that.
Is it for the Friday night before or the Saturday night?
Saturday.
Well, the day is, but then the campground for Friday and Saturday.
Friday and Saturday. Okay.
So maybe that's
But the event will be Saturday. Okay, cool.
Master plan we've gone over, but just again, thank you to Katie. I feel like doing a master plan that is a few years beyond when it should have been updated is kind of like you cast out this like giant net for 12 months, and then at the end you're like pulling it back in and you have to turn it into a little cohesive plan. So Katie has done that for us and I'm very grateful. And excited to see it, move from draft phase into something we can start using. So again, 6 p.m. tonight at the city, and then December 15th for the County Planning Commission. For grants, so our trail crew is pretty much scheduled through 2026 with current grant projects. That includes some construction projects, some maintenance we're committed to. We're planning in a little bit of time to maybe deal with who knows what might pop up with just introducing class 1 e-bikes, trying to reserve a little bit of time in case there's some changes that need to be made. So we're really looking at 2027 for grant projects. And I will be taking a vacation.
Congratulations.
Mid-January to mid-February.
Nice.
I will not be answering my phone. I will not be checking my email. So, I'm going to go to New Zealand. I'm going to go check around New Zealand and go backpacking. But that does, unfortunately, kind of put it in the usual time where I'd be like writing the grants and developing it. So, kind of work around that choice I've made. So, I think I'll probably be laying some groundwork before I go, and then if it has to move through commission and whatnot, that might be able to happen when I get back, or Evan might be assisting with that. So I guess what I'm saying is if you have ideas for grant projects for 2027, just shoot me an email, and then we can also do a discussion item at the next meeting, but this will give me a little bit of a preview so I can because I kind of need to start writing that stuff.
Yeah.
Soon, next week maybe. Mud Springs, so phase 1, we've completed the first part of phase 1. We'll be working on the second part of phase 1 next fall. We also, just a reminder and sort of an update, we do have funding for phase 2. However, there are some pretty complicated factors with the NEPA, and so because of the government shutdown, we haven't really been able to move forward on that at all. So hopefully winter, spring will be helping the BLM and maybe getting some help from other groups to identify where this endemic plant species is, which is kind of like the main factor that's determining how, if, when we can do phase 2. So we're still working on it, but a little bit delayed from the shutdown. We're also working on end of year expenditures right now to kind of tidy up 2025, moving into the new 2026 budget year. So Luna just sent in their invoice. We have a long-standing contribution the county makes to Luna. There might be some other loose ends that I'll talk to you guys about at the next meeting. The Utah Trail Network was also, I think, announced. I think that was between our last meeting and this meeting. So I don't have a ton of information about it, but it's a big state initiative. They came to town a few times. They're trying to map out like long distance routes that connect specifically communities. And so for our area, there's recommendation to connect to Castle Valley, and then also to Green River. I can't remember which one it was on there, actually.
Crescent Junction. We can wait to.
Okay, we're just going north. But those are some long distance routes that the state's really excited about, that they're looking at putting funding towards. So just an FYI, and check it out. I can send out a link as well. And then I'll turn it over to you for the trail crew.
We've mostly covered Falcon Climb's happening. Lead Springs closed for the winter. It was amazing before it was shut down. Park Pack, it's gonna be great. I am going on pseudo winter furlough. So if you're sending me emails, I might be sending them more to Evan. If you have any long-term projects, we're transitioning more long-term projects to Evan. But feel free to reach out to me with any questions or anything. But,
And then Anna, do you have anything additional?
The Moab Guide Summit is coming up. That is in March 11th to March 12th. Specifically for Moab area guides. We're bringing in speakers, SHPO, Canyoneers Association Coalition, America's Coalition. I don't remember, but trying to bring in this father who has built adaptive equipment for his family down here. So there's going to be a manager's night and then also a field day as well for guides.
Okay, last but not least, at large members. Sorry, running a little bit over here. Colin, you want to start?
Nothing. Anything you want me to bring up at the city council meeting tonight?
Yeah. Remove parking from Main Street.
Put a median.
Could you at least like remove the stickers off the light poles for Main Street and all the trash cans? Or screwed about?
Hey, that's my update. New trash cans.
Whoa.
You can check them out. They're in front of City Hall on display. But new trash cans that don't have any stickers on them until next week.
They look good.
Until the day after they go in.
Yeah, they look big. Tim.
Oh, I have nothing. I'm the new guy. But thank you all for the opportunity to serve the community.
Thank you.
Congratulations. What do you got for us? Nada?
No.
Okay, this
Dave.
anything? Oh, Dave. Sorry, Dave. All right, I'm sorry, Dave. I'm sorry. It's because you're short, so I.
The Massaback work that the agreement or whatever for the motos to bypass that one section that was really gnarly. I saw a group working on that section not too long ago. Some locals, vehicles I've seen in town, doing a lot of winching, moving some very large rocks there. They now have, if you're going up it, that to exit, there's a very large rock on the right side. It's curiously placed, and they have spray painted "Stay Off" on that rock. And I don't know if that work was supervised or approved or just them trying to make it. It's much easier to get up and down that section now.
The BLM has been.
Well, no, I just noticed it.
Oh, yeah.
When I was riding.
Oh, just barely.
Because I saw them when I was out riding doing a bunch of work on it, and then I came in not too long ago and saw some guys driving down it, and I was like, oh wow, that's like super. What is that? That's spray paint on the rock. Saying "Stay Off," and it's on the back side. So if you come in from where they're driving, you're not going to see that. I don't know if it's something that you like push it a little. It's going to do a little road runner.
Seems like
coyote
there's
thing,
BLM
what?
question.
Okay. I I didn't know if that was something that was done.
I knew that work was done in conjunction with guys, but I don't know about the spray painting.
Yeah, we could take a photo.
I'm assuming now the motos don't need to use a single track because it looks much easier to drive.
I mean, they have approval to use that single track between there, so.
You have to see it.
Yeah.
Anything else, Dave?
No.
Okay. Well, because we didn't end on time, we don't get a high five, but give someone a low five next year. Okay. So we got it done at 11:13. Thank you all. I'm sorry, 1:13. Thank you all for everything. Appreciate you. Thanks, Samantha, for the toffee. Thanks, Brad. Samantha, I've been on all this.
But